Rayan niyan ti Lugosor, programa ngagserbi kamang kenrang tayo iti gobyerno probinsyal. Lalo na, iti beneg iti sanggo niyang panlalawigan ti probinsya ng Lugosor. Mangted tinanay ng informasyon kadagiti programa, proyektos, tulong ken mga sister kadagiti ang problema nga OFW ang kalugaran tayo. Rayan niyag ti Lugosor. Tinagaget, Produktibo Presiding Officer, the busy Governor of the Province of Ilocos, Ryan Luis Singson, our main anchor, Ken Lito Javier, our co-anchor, Ryan Nyag Tilocosor, at tuyen ngagsubli ngagserbi kada kayo, ang sipod, tada kayo, ti inspirasyon mi, Ryan Nyag Tilocosor, da kayo, ti inspirasyon mi.
Hello, good morning, 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 good morning. Good morning everyone, good morning everybody. Today is Friday, 27 apo, ti mabilang iti bulan ti Oktobre. Maudi apo nga Friday tata. Ada opisina, into no bigat awan. So nga long weekend vacation po dito, ingana into no dos. Palubos na po Diyos mga kaibigan. Ya? Malaksid no adanto apo ti opisina into no dos. Sa bagay, timat lang in-declare na ngamin kat timat lang 31 san nyak agriro. Kat barangay election mat apo into no 30 ton lonesan palabos na po Diyos. So, konting-konti na lang mga kaibigan ya. Duangal daw lang na po iti panagkampanya, tatangal daw ken into no bigat. Kat 29 kas nakuna ka po naka-schedule neta iti vocabulary yo kinnaradap system. Dagito mat 30 hinakot system. Election day po yun mga kaibigan. So good morning to one and all. Kada kayo kami na po nga inspirasyon mi ngagsaserbi iti programa Rainyag ti Lugosor, Iloco Heritage sa channel. And welcome, 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 welcome. Ken syempre of course mga kaibigan, dito yung meta po programa tayo nga Iloco Heritage sa channel or Rainyag ti Lugosor, dito Iloco Heritage sa channel, Facebook Live, ken Iloco Heritage sa channel through Eagle Vision Cable TV. Kada kiti amin na po nga nasapa nga nang lukat iti television na. Kahit na tagbuyag, dengeg, pakipalo na kami apo, palo, share, laeng, papagayam. Tapos iti kasta po kat bakita yung mamuan nyo, no anyamot apo iti mabalin, mga kaibigan, may padamag ni mata kada kayo, kada gito yung po nga oras, ken kanito gagayim ken na po kailan. One, okay po, sige po. Alagat, kumusta kaya amin na po, inter the Philippines, inter the world, mga kaibigan. Kumusta ti sitwasyon, kumusta iti biyag. So far so good, diti probinsya ti Ilocos po, peaceful na peaceful. Awan pa ibet laing iti dakes nga damdamag, may panggap apo iti eleksyon. Kaduan nga issue, may panggap apo ti ayuda. Dalipatan yun samutin apo ti performance dagitoy bumarang dagiti kabarangayanan ay dagiti official tayon nalipatan yun samutin na po iti priority needs tayon mga kaibigan dita barbarangayan na po kaya other programs diti samut langan ayuda iti adda ti utek ti kandidaton kas kada butanten papagayam pabasulan tayo ti national gobyerno taapay ngamin nga nagre-release na po iti pundo before election na po iti barangay supposed to be kuma after barangay election kuma nga nag-release na iti pundo puro ayuda meten na po iti adda ti utek tatan awamot ti sabali nga pagpapatanganen awamot apo dagiti ko natayon nga issues concern iti barangayon nalipatan yun samutin mga kaibigan dagiti issues concern yun na po dita barbarangayon ano ba puro na lang ayuda adda ti madamag ko adda ti makatungtong ko tapo problema da kano di barangay da may panggap ti ayuda aba adda pa lang agsingir kanyak ti ayuda may panggap apo tinapalabas nga nga pandemic tahanda kanumat apo na ikan ide ay sauce more than a year kung naman napalabas deta hanggang nga ison apo iti inkay tanaw-tawanan. Kaya more than a week deta gagayam kaya na po kailan apay pelang iso pelang apo iti in kayo tantanaw-tawan gagayam kaya na po kailan may panggap apo deta ayuda system haanan ano dati pan nakabalin na haanan na po, ya. No dapan nakabalin na haanan na gagayam na po kailan no dapan nakabalin na. Wag na. Wag na yan. Sa akin hindi healthy. Hindi healthy na pag-uusapan na natin yung tungkol sa ayuda na yan, mga kaibigan, ya. Kasi no alaam tusto, alaam apo iti osto, adu nga talaga iti saan met nga qualified nga umawat apo iti ayuda. Adu ti hanga qualified nga umawat apo ti ayuda. Gagayam na po kailan apay because of status in life. Gagayam. Di ba? Ken di gipudpudno ano ba ti basehan tayo tapno iti kasta ket may kanti ayuda iti may sa apo nga bubong, may sa nga household papagayam. Ano ba ang basehan natin? Ano ba ang basehan natin para mabigyan ng ayuda? May pabilang siya na tatanggap ng ayuda. Ano ba? Dahil kadi nalayos, di simrak ti danom jay paraangan na, wano na jay nadanuman di uneg iti salas da, jay uneg apo, interamente jay balay da, pagatumang ti danom. Napitakan da? Or what? Totally damage. Sana ba ti makuna nga totally damage? Di ba naika, di ba interamente, di bubong, di balay? Papagayam? Wano pagattenged ti danom, di jay uneg iti balay. Yun kasi di ba? Ano ba ang ebidensya natin? What is the proof, mga kaibigan? Yung proof natin, yung proof natin na sila'y tatanggap ng ayuda. Numaminsan mateng ka, isubot lang isyon, da ito'y ayuda na po. Nalipatan nyo mat, tagitay vital concerns tayo na po, dita barbarangayan, mga kaibigan. May street light, pero di gumagana. Hindi natin nabigyan pansin yung mga pangangailangan pa, yung mas matinding pangangailangan. Kailangan nyo ng dryer, multipurpose hall sa barangay, pero wala pa, squatter pa kayo. Okay? Kailangan nyo ng pondo, para naman may pambili kayo ng gamot para sa mga nangangailangan, hindi lang yung mga senior citizen, pati yung mga bata. Multivitamins and so on and so forth. Sa barangay, maraming illegal drugs. Pati yung anak ni Kapitan, kasali sa illegal drugs. Sa barangay, walang organized na organisasyon ng NGO. Sa barangay, walang pista. Walang pundo. At bakit? Di ba, kada ko mga tiyempong tagpapastrict kayo man, mga kaibigan? Ano ba? So, dagita po, nagado nga concerns tayo. May sama lang timang mangagakon, no, dajay public forum man, may panggap man lang tati, ayuda. Ayuda. Numaminsan, pabasulan kayo aming nga nakatugaw. Hamala ni Kapitang ti makimbasol na ita. Da kayo, di sektoryo. Di sektoryo. adda ba ti kwa? Adda ba ti makin sektor iti tunggal sityo di tayan nyo gagayam kinapokel yan na divide ba kayo? Oh. Sino ba ti nagilista? Sino ba ti nag-introduce? Iti listaan. Gagayam kinapokel yan. Sino ba? Oh. Da kayo nga barangay council? Apapagayam? Da kayo apo? Bueno, asinno? Mga kaibigan, iti nang introduce kada kayo apo. Nang introduce, tinigitang nga bambanag. Halangan ni kapitan, na pinikapitan lang iti barangay official. Iso lang at head of the family. Sa totoo lang, pero andyan naman kayo. 7 ti kagawad na. Yeah? Dapat neta at the sector, mga kaibigan. Then, after a couple of days, submit niya po kapitan deta. Submit yung kanya na. For profiling, simpahin yung nasayaat. Oh, sigurado ka? Nukas pangarigan to lang. Gagayam kaya na po kailian. Ki Master List, may submit na tapo DJ National. Oh, hama lang nagpatinggat ti lokal. Gagayam. Dagi apo iti pampanunutin tayo so far kada gito'y apo nga gundaway gagayam. Kitain tayo niya. Oh. No dapat nakabali na. So, kung nangaroon ka na kayo, gagayam ka na po kailian, hantay nagpipinabasol, ti ayuda. Pabasulan kaya aming nga barangay official, sa totoo lang. No, adama na po, issue may panggip ti ayuda. Tanay ti matin, iti number 1 concerns yun. Awamot sa bali nga development sa ti barangay nga panunot yun. Yeah? Kumbaga, anay, problem, dito yun, may panggip ti ayuda. Hala nga may isang barangay, no, dikat di aminan, sa pasap mo taon. Pati purpose, mga kaibigan, di kita tupad. Oh, di po ba? Sino ti kayat na ti may membro ti tupad? Ha? Kaya iyaw, siya kinja kaya. Nagrigat ti dalos apo di ta hangko nga paraangan. Sagsagad kanta. At dapat di damo na ti implementation na po ti purpose. Sos, di ba ti paglintigan da ket mapangka tumulong agdalos ti ta eskwela, brigada eskwela, tayo ti igigid apo ti kalkalsada ti barbarangay. Oh, tanabutob da nga tanabutob. Apay kanu lang isuda la kanu nga purpis mga kaibigan ti agdaldalos. Dandani la sungbatan ni suda. Kinonyo kay tagpurpis sa digikat kayo. Oh. Mabalilat tama it ore kay di man no marigrigat kayo ore no qualified kayo agpurpis ngem no masadot kayo hanggang nga agpurpurpis. Anya nga ti kayo ilistada kayo tikikan na kay tat kwarta tanwad da ti pagpareban gas kada igatang yu ti tubay taw. Haan na po nga kasjay iti patakaran ti gobyerno tayo. Deta intended for your children. Nagbasbasa pa lang po ti elementarya ken high school. Mga kaibigan tapno adda usarenda. Adigatang yu apo iti vitamins da. Ganun ho yun. Kasi obligado kayo pa yung mapanagpa-check up dita rural health. Okay? Pinalakaya di agpurpis no awan na po iti agaywan yan na amungay. Oh, daka dita nga kwa agtrabaho dita hamo nga parparaangan. Tupad, mga kaibigan, di ba? So, hanga da kita ti pagririyan tayo, as long as nga ma-evaluate kayo apo nga nasayaat, dita barangay, at damat apo ti umay nga taga city or taga munisipyo, ken national, tanon to pinagiwarasan na po iti tupad or karagiti membro ti purpose, ket mapandamit agparang di jeta kita indamit apo de ti karda no na-comply damit lang kadagi adayjay paganurutan mga kaibigan. Ya, hang kailangan mapanagparang during the time nga masapul yun apo, masapul yun. Ha? During the time nga adadtan, during the time nga kaya iyon, gagayam kina po kailian. Halang nga dayjay. Gapotad dati damagan, umawat kayon. Yung kayo matan. Okay, purpose, andyan na. O, tapos ito na yung mga diba? Mga ayuda, mga AX, mga kaibigan. Sa bagay, yung AX po, based on your submitted requirements kasi may indigency po yan, may ganito, ganyan, mga kaibigan. Yeah. Kasi po iti sitwasyon. Okay? Ngayon kita kung natayo po nga tulong para kada kita nadidigra, sila di na palpalabas nga bagyo, ayan, kailangan ma-evaluate nga na siya at kita ma-assess kami nga. Di kayo tumag ngamin nga kwa. Di kayo tumag ngamin nagpadlaw. O, apo kagawad, dito ayang ko, nalayos kami ma. Apo kagawad, kastoy. Di ba? O, napektaran kami ma, tapo. Ilis tayo amin. Ang problema, ilis tayo amin. Makamudan to na po, no kaya danto panalaan, wenuhaan, or no mapagbigyan daw, weno saan. Makadadegol pa gid din, puro peace, puro tupad, puro ayuda, iti issue. Awanan na po ti vital issues, vital concern, iti barangayan. Kumbaga mga kaibigan, napukawan. Ano ba yung mga major problem na dapat natin bigyan ng pansin? Pag nagbigay kayo ng mensahe sa mga constituents ninyo at naglantad po kayo ng mga plataforma nyo, dahil kaya yung po nga trabahuan within 2 years only. If possible, don't exceed beyond that limit, mga kaibigan, kasi di nyo alam. Maliban kong ma-extend ang barangay term. Pero sa ngayon, wala pa naman, kaya 2 years lang yan. Yeah? Dapat kita duma, very highly technical pa iti plataformada. Kung amlano congressman da, kas kada gobernador da, mga kaibigan. Hindi nila pinagplanuhan yon. Paano ba maipapatupad mga yon? Sino ba ang mag-carry over o kaya gagawa ng mga yon? Paano mo matulungan sa pangkabuhayan ang mga walang trabaho sa barangay? Ang dami po yung mga walang trabaho sa barangay, mga kaibigan. Diba? Nagad-ado, gagayam kaya na po kailan. Hantay lang nga, ag-concentrate apo, tiniti tupad-tupad. Kada ayu-ayuda. Ang pinaka-worst po dyan, mga kaibigan, kung paano natin addressan apo, ada kitay major problem iti barangay tayo. Nya? Paano tayo magkakaisa, mga kaibigan? Sige nga. Paano? Kaya po iti dapat ng aramiden tayo, gagayam ka na po kailan. Kailangan natin na panatilihin ang pagkakaisa at may respeto sa barangay. Kung meron tayo niyan, sigurado po, amin nga problema ta barangay, maaksyonan, gagayam ka na po kailan. Pero, pag wala, pag walang ganyan, ay nako. Kaslaitat ta, non-partisan, this is a non-partisan election because barangay, mga kaibigan. Ngam niya tinaramid yun, naggrupo-grupo kayo, nagparamid kayo pa apo ti yun uniform nyo. Okay? Paano yan? May vote straight ba? Wala naman na. Non-partisan nga yan eh. Okay? Nusyak kumakas pangarigan ti kapitan. For example, awang kalabang ko, taada 15 apo nga lumabang nga para kagawad, plus SK. Schedule ko ti barangay forum. Okay? Into numalpasen, okay, let's go. Into yung kampanya. Sang kamay sa kayo amin na po, nga mapanagkampanya, gagayam ka na po kailan. Ayaban nyo amin, awang problema ni Kapitan, or siya sinun to, apo, ti makarkarwar ka na kayo. Makipaggamulo kayo tulat di barangay, laglagipin nyo dayjay, adan to respeto no kasi taramidin ni Kapitan. Ngem, no dayjay laing biti-bitin ni Kapitan, dayjay lang taltalop, upat laing nga po nga kadwana, nga pinaramidan na pa iti tarpulin. Ay ket nun to mga bakngay, iti majority, naragsakto nga tani apo Kapitan, di mismo nga barangay na, no, adadon to apo timang tubngar ken kuana, gagayem ken na po kailyan. Di po ba? Hangata nga napimpintas nga, awam met ti pinartiduan apo, awam met, ket no da pa nakabalinan, adumit gayam ti kanyayo iti mayat apo nga serbi iti barangay tayo, alaket dila ka di mabalin. Dila ka di mabalin apo nga da kayo umeten ket agkukuyog tayo intayo ag kampanya. Amin amin. Okay? Sige apo kapitan, duang aldaw. Ya? Oh, into normal pas ti kampanyan, makamukay ito ang diskarten individually, mga kaibigan. Kasi diskarte kayo taon. Kasi ipakita yun lang apo nga titatao, ket da kayo ti leader nga mapagwadan, nga adda ti kayat yu ket naurnos, adda ti unity, adda kapya. Kasi lang kasimple. Oh, yung di open forum pala, ket agtitinira kayo, tiruin nyo ni kapitan. Yeah? For example, da kayo, kumandidato kayo, kagawad kayo, nag-last term kayo. Yeah? Adda ti isyo, may panggip ti ayuda, tiruin nyo ni kapitanan. Manswen nyo. Oh. Gapo kano ta hanga na ilista na ganyan karkaroban. Anya inobram, kagawad ka. Hangat nga na pa nagtopram ka, may piltak ag sobritin ti rupam. Di pa nang dilaw mo kini kapitan, kat hamo nga tangam mo nga tabagim, kat part and parcel ka di jay. No anya man tinadadael, di taon na iti barangay, you are the member of the barangay council. Adda mo meeting yo, apay kumanghan yo nga inropir na kita nga bambanag. Gagayam ka na po kailan. Oh. Kasjay apo iti mabalin tayo nga maibaga gagayem kaya na po kailan. Para may unity po tayo. Ha? Okay? So please, hantayo apo nga agririri may panggip tayo ayuda. Gagayem kaya na po kailan. Tutikas tapo, nasayudlaan. Aglalo kaya na ha? Detoy, marakrak itinapintas nga langan-langan iti gagayem agkakabsat launay agkakabagyan agkakaruba because of this barangay election. Okay mga kaibigan, alakat madamdama po danto met ti BBM tayo. Then isapsapak to basit ti pumangkada tad dating amin na po maramid nga Nurses Week celebration di magsingal with our busy Gobernador Ryan Singson mga kaibigan. Ya? So commercial break muna tayo. Stay tuned dito Iloco Heritage sa channel, Ken Iloco Heritage sa channel Facebook Live and Eagle Vision Cable TV. Ranyag ti Ilocosor. Into no bigat, Sabado ulit mga kaibigan, last Saturday po yan, last campaign period. Isomet apo iting kampanag programa kina po Vice Gobernador ti Ranyag ti Ilocosor, Jebombo Radio, 30 minutes lang niya po simulcast sa dito Iloco Heritage sa channel Facebook Live, mga kaibigan. Okay po. Commercial break.
Problema yu kadi iti panangalat ti student driving permit, renewal iti lisensya ngagmaneho, ken panang-upgrade iti restriction code dagiti lisensyayo. Solbaren dagiti nga problema yu iti RX Driving School. Ti RX Driving School ket accredited iti LTO ng eskwelaan. Amang ipaay kadagiti sumaganad. TDC wenno theoretical driving course. Kasapulan daytoy kadagiti mangala ti student permit. PDC wenno practical driving course. Paramat kadagiti mangala iti non-prop wenno professional driver's license. Upgrading iti restriction code. Paramat kadagiti mangnayon iti mabalinda a manehuen. Ken ti special driving course paramat kadagiti kayat nga tagsusurong agmaneho ti motorsiklo, tricycle, four wheels, manual or automatic ken da dumapay. Naanos ken nalaing dagiti driving instructors da nga accredited iti LTO. Dito'y 2nd District, masarakan ti RX Driving School iti National Highway, Barangay Tablak, Candon City, abay iti Sacred Heart Medical Laboratory. Dito'y mat 1st District, masarakan ti RX Driving School, abay mismo iti LTO. Dita poblasyon is San Ildefonso, Ilocosur. Ken dita probinsya ti Ilocos Norte, masarakan ti RX Driving School iti along the National Highway, Barangay Kalagip, Batak City, sango ti Lucondia Cultural Center ken Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital. Asideg iti mismong LTO. No lisensya ti panagmaneho, ken nasaya ta pagsusuruan ngagmaneho, RX Driving School iti papanan. Para tadadong informasyon, tumawag uno ag-text kayo iti 0917-578-3132 and 0917-811-0581. Dito First District San Ildefonso, 0917-306-3735. Itamot Second District, Candon City, 0917-120-1745. Ken Ditabatak City, 0917-329-0591. RX Driving School.
Paapugad iti makay ayo abuya iti uneg iti pagtaengam. Anyaman nagasapulam kas ti moderno a klase iti silaw ada ti chandelier LED lights kenda dumapay. Kasapay kadagiti agkagapintas a toilet bowl, wall claddings, stainless sa lababo, kasamit din na dumaduma ti klase na a tiles kenda dumapay a materyales agkasapulan ti pagbangon ti balay. Pasyaren ti AC Newborn Home and Builder Center. Nalawa ti showroom da, agkomportable kang agpili ti kayat mo a disenyo. Mabalin pa nga isuda iti magi-set up kadagiti katangin. Masarakan sa Rizal Street, Sulphur, Bantay, Ilocos Sur. Imatmatunan na Mr. and Mrs. Alain Chan. Saanen ngagtaktak mapankan sa JAC Newborn Home and Builder Center.
Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives. Ti kooperatiba ano bayagin nagsaserbi kadagiti Ilocano iti amyanan a Luzon. Ti kooperatiba manpapaay ti serbisyo, benepisyo ken mangisakit kadagiti empleyado ken miyembro na. Ti Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives wano NSCC ket adon tinatulungan na. Babayan med iti namayat alangin-langin ken kooperasyon dagiti miyembro ken mangimatmaton. Adon tinagduruasan ti kooperatiba. Adupay dagiti nainayon ang kasdek, akas ti NSCC Farm, Chicharon Processing Facility, Macro Laboratory, kastameten ti NSCC Plaza, ken NSCC Business Center. Isungan niya pelang ter orayem makikaptenkan iti kadakilan a kooperatiba iti probinsya. Ti Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives suman na NSCC. Imatmatunan na daytoy ni Dr. Gibina Kenny.
As the heritage province of the North reopens to tourists, it launches the all-new Tour Ilocos Sur app. A quick guide to Ilocos Sur at your fingertips. Find the best tourist spots. Hotels. Bars and restaurants. And authentic Ilocos Sur products and food. Be updated on upcoming events, plus get notified on the important announcements and updates. Available for global download on Android and iOS. The Tour Ilocos Sur app. Historical becomes digital.
Yalang of the Philippine Department of Trade and Industry, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to today's Saudi-Philippines Roundtable meeting. For the past year, business roundtable meetings have served as excellent platforms for the Philippine government to provide the international business community updates on our country's economic development and opportunities. Today, we bring together Philippine and Saudi leaders to discuss how we can work together closer in realizing our shared vision of a prosperous and sustainable economy.
Thank you very much, Ramin. Good morning, good afternoon, Mr. President, Your Excellency Khaled Al-Falih, our Minister of Investment, and our distinguished guests. Today, I would love to commence the roundtable that comes to commemorate the relations between the two nations that are becoming increasingly fruitful. And we will involve in a 90-minute of discussion on opportunities in 6 different sectors. Let's start with the welcome remarks. And without further ado, I would give the floor right now to the Minister of Investment, His Excellency Khaled Al-Falih. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Your Excellency, Mr. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Your Excellencies, Secretaries from the Republic of the Philippines, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And allow me, on behalf of His Majesty, Custodian of Two Holy Mosques, King Salman, and His Royal Highness, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the rest of the Saudi government, to extend our very warm welcome to His Excellency the President of the Philippines, and specifically to welcome the entire Filipino delegation, as well as my colleagues from Saudi Arabia, to this roundtable discussion, which I am sure is going to be quite fruitful and impactful on the relationship between our two friendly nations. Mr. President, I'm sure you will know that diplomatic relations between our nations were established over half a century ago, 1969 to be exact, under the leadership of another remarkable Ferdinand Marcos, your late father. And of course, I am from an age bracket that remembers the era of Ferdinand Marcos Sr., who brought so much to the Philippines and who became an icon on the world stage. In September last year, Mr. President, you received our Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, and he reported very, very highly of the meeting and your warm welcome and your outlook on improving the relationship, which is already very good, by the way, between our two countries. And it's an honor to see you here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on your first visit as President of the Philippines, primarily to attend the summit of ASEAN GCC tomorrow, but also to hold talks with His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and today to reach out to our business community and cement the strong economic ties, people-to-people ties that already exist between our two nations. The Philippines, for those of you who don't know, is the world's 40th largest economy. Not a small economy by any means. However, its potential is much higher. It is today, under your leadership, one of the fastest growing markets, with expectation to double its GDP from 2022 to 2030. Key to your success has been the unique strength and competitive advantage of Filipino talent, renowned around the world for their work ethic. They're English-speaking, well-skilled, tech-savvy, and service-oriented. And Filipinos have made their mark across the globe, and I see them in very high-tech as well as leadership positions when I travel around the world. This is true also here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, proud to be home to the largest Filipino population in the Middle East. We're pleased at the success we have seen so far, and given the extensive reforms being driven under your Philippine Development Plan, we're very excited about the future of partnership between our two nations. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we too in Saudi Arabia have an ambitious vision for economic development, driven by widespread reforms and investment. Through Vision 2030, Saudi Arabia has embarked on an ambitious economic growth and diversification journey that can bring benefits and opportunities to partners across the world. For as much as the Kingdom attracts FDI, we also wish to grow the footprint of our own outbound investment-friendly nations like the Philippines. Since we launched Vision 2030 7 years ago, our GDP has risen 66%. Our FDI has more than quadrupled. And last year, we became the fastest growing economy in the G20. We forecast that by the end of this decade, our investment opportunities will exceed $3.3 trillion, translating into tremendous opportunities for companies and investors across all sectors from around the world, and we trust some of them will be from the Philippines, just as much as we are confident that more Saudi investors will be investing in the Philippines. Mr. President, today we want to connect you to key Saudi investors with impressive success stories to share and with a desire to continue building their international presence by investing with partners across the globe, the Philippines being a key one. To begin, we want to discuss today finance. We know that the Philippines is looking not only to drive innovations, for example, by moving to a cashless society by 2030, but also to mobile finance. Saudi Arabia, in our own right, has a highly successful banking sector, and several funds are looking to expand their investment here and internationally. And I'm very pleased that we are joined today by leaders in this sector from Saudi Arabia who are eager to hear more about the investment opportunities in one of ASEAN's most exciting markets and learn more about the newly launched Maharalika Investment Fund that you have launched under your administration. Next, we would like to touch on energy and chemicals, as the Philippines is working towards energy self-sufficiency by the end of the decade. Renewable energy will play an important role in the mix. And while Saudi Arabia is known as a leading oil producer, and we have been your leading supplier of petroleum, our energy future also encompasses major investments in renewable projects. One of them, that is today the global leader, is NEOM's green hydrogen, as well as the world's largest blue hydrogen system to be built by Saudi Aramco. Our efforts in the energy sector also has positioned us to become a leader in petrochemicals. And I'm very pleased that we have several national champions, and indeed the global champions in these three areas: oil and gas, green and blue hydrogen, renewable production from solar, wind, desalination, and of course SABIC and petrochemicals. Another key sector where we could discuss areas for collaboration is industry and logistics. We know how vital this sector will be to the Philippines' growth, as a regional manufacturing hub, and that there are opportunities to deepen this partnership. In Saudi Arabia, we're planning to invest more than 133 billion US dollars by the end of this decade across aviation, railways, ports, maritime services, and logistic hubs, underpinned by our national transport and logistics strategy. With us to discuss the opportunities in this sector, we see a number of key private sector actors represented, and they will be speaking with you, Mr. President. Tourism is another key sector for us, where we have a goal of reaching over 100 million visits annually and increasing tourism share of GDP from less than 3% before Vision 2030 to 10% by 2030. The Philippines is known for the richness of its culture and the beauty of its landscape, has long drawn tourists from all over the world, including more than 12,000 visitors from Saudi Arabia in the first 9 months of this year. And I'm sure this number will continue to increase as we open more direct flights and create more packages for Saudi tourists to enjoy your beautiful country. You undoubtedly have many tourism lessons to share with us, and we look forward to working together as we both aim to grow tourism, and particularly ecotourism, in the years to come. I'm sure you'll also know, Mr. President, that we have many investors in Saudi Arabia who invest globally in real estate development, in mixed-use facilities, and in tourism. And some of them are with us in this group that would be willing to explore opportunities to grow real estate developments and tourism in the Philippines. Labor, as I mentioned, is an area that is important to both of us, and it is indeed your competitive advantage. And there is considerable collaboration, not the least through the 130,000 Filipino nurses working tirelessly to provide amazing patient care across the kingdom. We are fortunate to have a number of leaders from this sector, human resource attraction and development, with us, who are already investing and growing the kingdom's healthcare sector, where there will be considerable demand for skilled labor. Finally, agriculture, which is an area where we know the Philippines has considerable strengths and much unused potential, with the sector accounting for nearly 10% of GDP and around a quarter of your employment. In Saudi Arabia, we're looking to expand our agriculture sector and strengthen our food security. And also here we have several national champions in food security and agriculture that I'm sure would love to invest in the Philippines to improve the yield of your agriculture sector, food processing and manufacturing, logistics, and the export potential of that sector. So, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, before I conclude, let me stress that we view the Philippines as not only a critical, large company that is growing very fast, country that is growing very fast, which is important in its own right. We also see the Philippines as a bridge to the ASEAN region and to the rest of Asia. And I trust that you consider Saudi Arabia as well, Your Excellency, your strategic entry point to the Middle East. So in closing, let me reiterate our warm welcome, our sincere appreciation to Your Excellency, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., for taking the time to meet with the Saudi business delegation and hear from them and give them guidance so they can materialize and action the great opportunities that are still to be realized between our two countries. Thank you very much. Salamat maraming po.
Thank you very much for your warm welcome, Your Excellency. To formally open the meeting and highlight the trade and investment opportunities available for Saudi companies in the Philippines, I am pleased to introduce Honorable Alfredo Pascual, Secretary of Trade and Industry of the Philippines. Sir?
Thank you. His Excellency President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., our gracious hosts from the Saudi government, the partners from the private sector of Saudi Arabia, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. I'm pleased to share the privilege of welcoming you to this roundtable meeting with Minister Khalid Al-Fali of Saudi Ministry of Investments, which graciously co-organized this event with our Department of Trade and Industry. Next week, the Philippines and Saudi Arabia will celebrate 54 years of formal diplomatic relations, marking decades of mutually beneficial political, socio-cultural, educational, economic, and labor relations. We need to congratulate ourselves for these decades of mutual and beneficial relations. The decades ahead are for further strengthening and enriching our relations. In 2022, our bilateral trade was valued at $2.2 billion US dollars, yet trade opportunities are more abundant. We look forward to working with the Kingdom in further realizing our trade potential. The Philippines offers such export products as machinery and electronic equipment, vehicles, seafood, manufactured goods, wood, paper, rubber, and plastics. We further offer Saudi our exported services across highly competitive sectors such as construction and engineering, franchising, IT, business process management, and tourism and related travel services. Through this meeting, we hope to be able to encourage Saudi businesses to explore investment opportunities in the Philippines. Let me spend a minute or two just to present the factors that make our country an attractive investment destination. The Philippines is nestled in the vibrant heart of Southeast Asia, the ASEAN. It is blessed with abundant natural resources and a young, dynamic workforce, highly trainable. We have a large domestic market, given a population of 117 million and a growing middle class with strong purchasing power. The Philippines is at a turning point of a transformative journey. As we champion economic inclusivity and propel ourselves forward, we are molding the Philippines into a prime investment destination. We are actively seeking investments in vital sectors as finance, Islamic banking, tourism infrastructure, renewable energy and petrochemicals, infrastructure and logistics, digital innovations, and agri-business. Minister Khalid Al-Fali has covered in detail the opportunities in these sectors, so I will not elaborate. When you decide to do business in the Philippines, you are assured of our domestic consumers and access to a bigger market that is the ASEAN and the RCEP economies that cover roughly 30% of the world's population. To enhance our enabling environment for investment and improve the ease of doing business in our country, we have undertaken significant legal and regulatory reforms, which further liberalize key sectors, including public services, retail, and renewable energy. Just very recently, we made renewable energy open to 100% foreign ownership. The Philippines' digital ecosystem is ready to welcome more players in e-commerce, fintech, and digital services. We have also streamlined our fiscal incentives and tax holidays to safeguard the interest of foreign investors. In 2022, we reached a defining milestone. The Philippines achieved an impressive GDP growth rate of 7.6%, securing our place as one of the fastest-growing economies in the ASEAN community. The screen before us shows the comparative numbers. The Philippine growth rate was primarily driven by robust performance in industrial and service sectors. In the first half of 2023, our GDP grew by 5.4%, outperforming several neighboring countries such as Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Singapore. The Asia Development Bank forecasts the Philippine economy to grow by 5.7% this year. By 2033, our nation is poised to join the exclusive club of $1 trillion economies in the Asia Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippines is open for business, and I invite you to partner with us. Together, let us make it happen in the Philippines. Thank you. Sukoran Jasilan.
Thank you, Secretary Pascual, for your comprehensive overview of the Philippine economy and the key elements of the Philippines' growth strategy. I now have the pleasure to call on Honorable Benjamin Diokno, Secretary of Finance, to provide more information about the opportunities for Saudi investors in the Philippine financial sector.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having us here in the dynamic city of Riyadh, the economic powerhouse of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Today, I'll talk about investment opportunities for Saudi investors in the Maharlika Investment Fund and the emerging Islamic banking sector in the Philippines. Right at the beginning of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration, the Philippine government set its sight on establishing institutions for long-term investments with a singular vision: a better quality of life for generations of Filipinos to come. The Maharlika Investment Fund was created for this purpose. As a catalyst for economic advancement, the Maharlika Investment Fund is designed to promote economic development through strategic investments in high-growth sectors that support the Philippines' long-term economic development as detailed in the 8-point socioeconomic agenda and the Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028. To achieve this, Maharlika aims to attract capital from both domestic and global equity investors, including large funds here in the Middle East, seeking to diversify its portfolio in fast-growing emerging markets like the Philippines. Investments in Maharlika are intended to quicken the implementation of the country's 197 infrastructure flagship projects worth around $153 billion. The infrastructure flagship projects focus on upgrading physical and digital connectivity, transport, agriculture, health, energy, water, and climate resilience. These projects offer high rates of return and large socioeconomic impact. Under the physical connectivity sector, there are 121 projects worth around $122 billion and 44 projects in the water sector worth about $15 billion. The fund also presents exciting opportunities for green and blue investments, ESG-linked fixed income instruments, and cutting-edge technologies with the advent of artificial intelligence and cloud computing. Maharlika seeks to work with other sovereign wealth funds both as an investment partner and peer in the global sovereign wealth fund community. We look forward to exchanging views and learning from the best practices of top-of-class funds such as those here in Saudi Arabia. On funding sources, the Maharlika Investment Corporation is granted authorized capital stock of around $8.9 billion. Out of this total, $6.6 billion are common shares for the exclusive subscription of the national government and its instrumentalities. The remaining $2.2 billion are preferred shares open for subscription of the national government, as well as reputable private financial institutions and corporations. Apart from subscription in the corporation, both private and state-owned financial institutions and corporations alike can invest at the fund level. That is, private capital may specifically target sub-funds, such as, for example, green and blue funds. Safeguarding the fund and your investments is a top priority. The Maharlika Investment Fund is founded on the Santiago Principles, reflecting appropriate governance and accountability mechanisms, and the conduct of sound and prudent investment practices by sovereign wealth funds. Financial reporting shall be in accordance with the relevant international financing reporting standards and principles. There will be 3 layers of audit based on law by an internal auditor, a third-party external auditor, and a supreme audit agency independent of the government. We look forward to your partnership and investments as we proceed with the full operationalization of the fund by the end of 2023. Now let me present opportunities in the Philippines Islamic finance sector. The Philippines, with Muslims comprising 8% of the total population, recognize the considerable potential of Islamic banking and financing in driving economic growth and prosperity for all Filipinos. Recently approved legal reforms on Islamic banking and finance are a solid basis for the expansion of a robust Islamic finance ecosystem in the Philippines. And this is complemented by a reasonable flexibility in the design and delivery of key policies. The Philippine Central Bank has adopted a single regulatory framework for both Islamic and conventional banks, enabling them to thrive on a level playing field. This is evident in its regulations on licensing of Islamic banks and banking units, liberalized modes of entry for foreign banks, and relaxation of minimum capitalization requirements for Islamic banking units. Prudential incentives are also offered to encourage the entry of new players. Relevant government authorities have issued relevant policies on tax neutrality and takaful, or Islamic insurance, to support the sector's development. At the core of our diverse investment opportunities in Islamic finance is a favorable regulatory environment reinforced by an independent Sharia supervisory board. We invite potential investors from the Middle East to explore our diverse investment opportunities in Islamic finance to serve the Philippines' large, untapped Islamic consumer market. In closing, let me picture the future of Philippine-Saudi economic ties with an African proverb. It goes, if you want to run fast, run alone. If you want to run far, run together. So we look forward to reaching new horizons with you, our Saudi partners, in the years to come. Shukran.
Thank you, Secretary Jokno. Indeed, there are many opportunities for our countries to foster stronger trade and investment ties. Thank you for your presentation. At this point, I wish to invite Secretary Pascual to introduce our keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to introduce the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos, Jr.
Thank you, Secretary Pascual. Minister Khalid Al-Fali, distinguished guests from the Saudi government and the business sectors, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the Philippine delegation, I wish to thank you all for participating in today's roundtable meeting. I also wish to thank the Saudi Ministry of Investment for co-organizing this meeting with the Department of Trade and Industry. I am pleased to note that the immense support that the ministry, led by His Excellency Minister Khalid Al-Fali, has provided us in making this event possible. It is my first visit to the region since I assumed the presidency in June of 2022. And I am most grateful to be welcomed by your confidence in the Philippines and the Filipino people. The kingdom is home to the largest population of overseas Filipinos in the world, as close to at around 1 million OFWs, or overseas Filipino workers, as well as the largest community of Filipino professionals in industries such as engineering, architecture, and healthcare. I also wish to acknowledge the valuable contributions of the companies who are taking part in strengthening this cooperation. With an estimated value of over 120 million US dollars, the agreements that will be signed today are set to benefit more than 15,000 Filipinos in training and employment opportunities across a wide range of professions in the construction industry. To our current and future business partners, I hope that this meeting has served as an excellent platform for building greater and closer partnerships between the Philippines and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This meeting happens at such an opportune time as the Philippine economy continues its high growth trajectory. Our economy has sustained its growth momentum with gross domestic product at 7.6% in the last year, the fastest rate of growth recorded by the Philippines since 1976. Meanwhile, foreign direct investments posted 9.2 billion US dollars in net inflows last year. Our financial and banking sectors are healthy and robust. Our credit rating continues to receive stable and positive investment grades. Indeed, the Philippines' economic achievements in the past year reflect the sustained efforts of this administration, supported by the private sector, in fostering an enabling business environment, cutting red tape, lowering the cost of doing business, and improving competitiveness. I assure you that the Philippine government is steadfast in its commitment to continuously support current and prospective Saudi investors. The Philippines has initiated important legislative amendments to existing laws to further open the economy to foreign investments. These include the Foreign Investments Act, the Retail Trade Liberalization Act, the Public Services Act, the Renewable Energy Act, all of which aim to attract more foreign investments in important sectors such as telecommunications, port operations, transportation, and clean energy. Moreover, foreign investors are able to enjoy fiscal incentives made available through the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises Act. I urge you to further engage with my economic team to learn more about such benefits. We also stand ready to welcome you to our tropical countries so you may personally see what a globally competitive Philippines can offer. At the forefront of these opportunities is the recently launched Maharlika Investment Fund, the Philippines' first ever sovereign investment fund designed to drive long-term economic development through increased investments in high-impact sectors. We look forward to benefiting not just from Saudi investments, but also from the Kingdom's extensive experience in managing such funds. So as we take part in the ASEAN GCC Summit currently being hosted by the Kingdom, we continue to reaffirm our readiness for deeper economic partnerships, not just within the Southeast Asian region, but as well as with our extended neighbors here in the Gulf. We hope that the Philippines will be your chosen gateway to the ASEAN and Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP economies, which was earlier spoken about. And on that note, I hope that the Saudi business leaders present here today will further make it happen in the Philippines. I look forward to seeing that this meeting we will further engage our two countries and will develop and explore opportunities that as yet we have not discussed between our two countries. We hope to see all of you to visit the Philippines, to see what the opportunities are, and for us as well, for our part in the Philippines, to bring our teams to the Kingdom. And further, we already have a very strong and a very long-standing people-to-people relationship, which can serve as a very good foundation for any future endeavors between our two countries. However, we should not limit ourselves alone to the labor market. We should also explore the new businesses that have come up since the end of the pandemic economy. And that is the area where I think that the GCC and ASEAN will find as a fertile ground for future investment, and also for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Republic of the Philippines to further strengthen the ties, not only in trade, but in areas of telecommunication, healthcare, energy, and even agriculture, as what's been spoken about. The central tenet of our plans for development in the Philippines is very much to regard our private sectors as partners in this development program. We recognize that government is good at many things, but there are other things that the private sector does better. And with that partnership, we can look forward to further growth, further strengthening of our relationships, and a better future for both our countries. Thank you. Maraming salamat. Shukron.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. President. Now we move to the moderated open discussion.
Laganay, dito po iti ko na tayo. Data yun ti petsa mabilang 27, 28, 29, 30. That will be Monday, mga kabombo. One, lakat data ti ko na tayo. One, ano sino po di kitay Sinta Corder ti Dangla. Nakantsaw kamay. Bombo Fernando, kung hada po di kitay daduma niya, agaw laang mga kabombawan. Nya pa po rin kita inte pagatutungtungan, kumusta po rin kita naduma-duma pong lugar. Wan, nagitanda po di tabalasyo taaw, lakatamanan mga kabombo, iti pong aldawin. Kastamat niya mga kabombo, rin kita naikatapot tilistan. Di kita'y Pantawid Pamilya Pilipino Program Beneficiaries niya. TDSWD, 1.1 million na po. Di kita'y nadelis nga 4-piece household beneficiaries, mga kabombo, na isublida po itilistaan. Win? So, diyay, dati nananaya pong eksplanasyon. Tibiyang TDSWD, inaigit data po nga banag. Kunada, handa kanupay nga kaya, mga kabombawin. Diya, itibay sa kanagitayin dito pagtutungtungan, madamdama, panagtultuloy mga kabombo programa tayo, Bombo Reports, first edition. So, diyor kunakon, imagine, 1.1 million. One nga,
Problema yung kani iti panangalat ti student driving permit, renewal iti lisensya ngagmaneho, ken panang-upgrade iti restriction code dagiti lisensyayo. Solbaren dagiti nga problema yo iti RX Driving School. Ti RX Driving School ket accredited iti LTO ng eskwelaan.
Our honoree was voted as the 17th President of the Republic of the Philippines on 09 May 2022 and vows to be a leader for every Filipino and stand steadfast behind his vision of uniting the nation and delivering a brighter future for the Filipino people. He has dedicated his life to serve the Filipino people for over 2 decades. His long and faithful service has been one characterized by his genuine care for the welfare of his constituents and a firm determination to elevate the quality of life of every Filipino. Early life that Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., commonly referred to as Bongbong and by the initials BBM, was born on the 13th of September 1957 in the town of Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Please remain standing for the honors to the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine National Anthem.
May we request everyone to please remain standing for the invocation to be led by Lieutenant Colonel Dennis C. Bulanday, Chaplain Service, General Staff Corps, the Group Chaplain.
Let us put ourselves in the loving presence of God and let us pray. From Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. God, Almighty Father, whose divine plan directs the life and destiny of every man, we lift our minds and hearts to you in prayer as a prelude to these chains of training, stakeholder engagement, and professional leadership led to the optimum accomplishment of our mission. May the values of honor, service, and patriotism that he fostered to the PSG family be his lasting legacy. Let all his vicarious sacrifices and dedicated service be rewarded with blissful fulfillment and peace of mind. Prosper his life with the blessings of health, the well-being of his family, and the fulfillment and success to his next assignment. We beseech you, O Lord, to bestow with your grace Brigadier General Jesus Nelson Banyas Morales, Philippine Air Force. Confer on him the wisdom and guidance of the Holy Spirit as he assumes command with prayerful disposition and confidence in his personal gifts of leadership and competence. Console him with the assurance of your abiding presence and gracious assistance in the daily performance of his duties and responsibilities. Let all his efforts be rewarded with fulfillment and success. Bless all the officers, enlisted men and women, and civilian human resources of the Presidential Security Group, as well as our guests and visitors, O Lord. Secure us always within the mantle of your divine protection. Finally, we implore your distinct benediction on our President, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, our Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., our presiding officer. May his presence inspire us and his words direct us to plot the course we have to take. This we ask to the one God that we believe, hope, and love. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the change of command of the Presidential Security Group with His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. as our presiding officer.
We shall now have the presentation of award to the Commander, Presidential Security Group, Brigadier General Ramon P. Zagala, Philippine Army.
Awards and decorations are significant evidence of valiant acts, exhibition of proficiency, competency, and distinction.
The award to be given is the Distinguished Service Star. This is awarded to officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines for their valuable and exceptional service rendered in a position of major responsibility as Commander, Presidential Security Group.
May we request the honoree, Brigadier General Ramon P. Zagala, Philippine Army, to stand at the center of the stage. The citation of the award will be read by the Adjutant General, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Brigadier General Bernardo R. Fortes, Jr., Philippine Army.
General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City, General Orders Number 1679, published on 17 October 2023, Award of the Distinguished Service Star. Pursuant to paragraph 2A6, Section 1-2, Chapter 1, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Regulations G, 131-054, dated 26 June 2014, the Distinguished Service Star is hereby awarded to Brigadier General Ramon P. Zagala, Officer -11738, Philippine Army, for eminently meritorious and valuable service rendered in a position of major responsibility as Commander, Presidential Security Group from 30 June 2022 to 18 October 2023, imbued with high sense of responsibility and professionalism. Brigadier General Zagala has outstandingly directed numerous presidential security operations for the President and First Family, both local and foreign engagements, as well as various technical surveillance countermeasures for the intelligence technical teams. Noteworthy is the commendable and successful arrest and neutralizations of Indian nationals in Oton and Fabia, Iloilo, last 7 March 2023. During his stint, PSG conducted different civic actions, outreach activities, bloodletting for High Philippine General Hospital, regular participation in Pasig River cleanup drive, distribution of basic medicines and multivitamins to PSG dependents in Malacanang barangays, and newly tied gift givings and feeding programs. Under his leadership, the PSD Office of the Assistant Chief of Staff for Plans and Programs G5 was created, paving the way for its capability development program aimed at improving present and future capabilities for changing challenges of protective security operations. Likewise, his establishment of the PSG Office of the Assistant Chief of Staff for Training, Education, and Doctrine G8 last 29 December 2022 was pivotal in ensuring quality training to PSG troops providing security to the highest seat of the government. During his term, the PSG made history by pushing for the promulgation of the first ever PSG doctrines development and the presidential operations manuals. By these achievements, Brigadier General Sagala earned distinct credit not only for himself, but also for the armed forces of the Philippines. By command of General Browner Jr., signed Charlton Sian Martis Gailan, Lieutenant General Philippine Navy Marines, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Official Bernardo R. Fortes Jr., Brigadier General Philippine Army, the Adjutant General.
May we request our presiding officer, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., to present the award, to be assisted by the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo Browner Jr., Philippine Army.
Let us give our honoree a round of applause. Please be seated.
At this juncture, may we call on the Adjutant General, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Brigadier General Bernardo R. Fortes Jr., Philippine Army, for the reading of the relief and designation orders.
General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. General Orders Number 1673, published on 16 October 2023. Section 1, Paragraph 5, Termination. Designation of Brigadier General Ramon P. Sagala, Officer Das 11738, Philippine Army, as Commander, Presidential Security Group, is terminated effective 16 October 2023. Section 2, Paragraph 5, Designation. Brigadier General Jesus Nelson B. Morales, Officer Das 11333, Philippine Air Force, is designated as Commander, Presidential Security Group, effective 16 October 2023. By command of General Browner Jr., signed Charlton Sian Martinez Gaerlan, Lieutenant General Philippine Navy Marines, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Official Bernardo R. Fortes Jr., Brigadier General Philippine Army, the Adjutant General.
The Commander, Presidential Security Group, Brigadier General Ramon P. Zagala, Philippine Army, will give his remarks. This will be followed by the reading and signing of his relinquishment orders.
To our presiding officer, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., Congressman Ferdinand Alexander A. Marcos III, Honorable Antonio F. Lagdameo, Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro, our Secretary of National Defense, Secretary Cheloy Garafil, our Presidential Communications Office, Secretary Bianca Cristina Zubel, our Social Secretary, Senior Yusek Honey Rose Mercado, our Traditional Media External Affairs PCO, Yusek Franz Gerald Imperial, Yusek Ignacio R. Jimenez, our Chief of Staff, General Romeo S. Bronner, the Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, the Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Stephen P. Pareño, representing the Flag Officer in Command Philippine Navy, Rear Admiral Cesar Bernard Valencia, Police General Benjamin Acorda, the Chief PNP, representing Admiral Artemio Abo, Commodore Eduardo P. De Luna, Police Brigadier General Jose Melencio Nartates, Regional Director of NCRPO, Brigadier General Ferdinand B. Napuli of the Special Forces Regiment, mabuhay ang Special Forces, Commodore Marcos Y. Imperio, Commander CSAF, To my wife, Nenita, thank you for coming. My high school classmates from LaSalle Green Hills, led by Quito Jose. My brother, Chocho, my sister-in-law, my fellow LaSallians, Tommy Campos, Charlie Carmona, to the PSG troopers who are present here today, to all my friends and family who are here, thank you for coming. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, simple yet powerful. My life as a PSG trooper has brought me far, literally and figuratively. It brought me to places I have never been, to situations far from my expectations, and happiness beyond my imagination. Little did I know that the single step of my 1,000-mile journey already began way back when I was an aide-de-camp here at the Presidential Security Group. I thought that my abrupt stint that time summed up my experience as a PSG trooper. But I was surprised to learn that it was only the beginning. I did not notice that I was being honed and fortified for a gigantic role in the future as PSG commander. Ever since, the nature and the reason for being a PSG trooper remains constant amidst ever-changing security challenges. We are duty-bound to protect the lives of individuals of significant importance who symbolizes freedom, independence, and peace. Our job is like no other as we swear by our pledge of commitment. This covers time, personal comfort, convenience, and even our lives. But this part and parcel of our oath that says, when it becomes necessary, that I have to make the ultimate sacrifice, then let it be so. We make ourselves the human shields against threats, embarrassment, and dishonor to our beloved VIPs. This job may be tough and demanding, but I know in the hearts of every troopers lives this undying pride and honor to be part of the chosen few. When I assumed the responsibility of PSG commander, I have emphasized to put primacy in advancing the PSG personnel's training, welfare, and stakeholder engagement. I wanted our troops to be at their best. May it be in capability, qualification, and most importantly, motivation in serving and securing the President and the First Family, and to a great extent, the Filipino populace. This vision that I have in mind was actualized through the creation of central offices to upgrade our training and planning capabilities like the Office of the Assistant Chief of Staff for Plans, G5, and the Office of Assistant Chief of Staff for Education, Training, and Doctrine, G8, and the establishment of facilities that will cater to the needs of our men and women, building areas, offices, recreational, and training facilities. Consequently, numerous training programs and seminars were spearheaded, like the VIP protection course classes, pistol marksmanship training, and defensive driving exercises. I am proud to share with you that we have been successful in producing well-rounded and mission-ready troops. This has been evident through our 100% success rate in our engagements within Metro Manila, various provinces across Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, outside the bounds of the Philippines, from Asia, America, and Europe. We ensured that our security operations for the President, the First Family, visiting leaders were not just made, but excellently executed. We always seek to leave no room for mistakes. Hence, the safety and security of our VIPs remain intact. In effect, the organization's dependability rate rises. We become more credible protectors, and this is a testament that we do live up to our name and identity. In PSG, we recognize that ensuring the safety of our President is not only through our own effort. We value our relationship with civilian populace and communicate with our internal and external stakeholders to always get our message across. Being at PSG demands us to be flexible, and the uniqueness of our job lies on our ability to connect, multitask, and engage. On that note, we strive to work well with other agencies that also work for our President. We held programs and activities to boost our public and civil relations. I have made it this far, and I won't be able to reach this without all of you. I would like to thank our President, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., and the First Family for this once-in-a-lifetime chance to lead your team of protectors. I am truly honored and fulfilled to have served under your leadership. Sir, may I give you my after-duty report? My profound appreciation as well goes to our generous and helpful stakeholders who work side by side with us and delivered their best service to complement ours. To the PSG troopers, maraming salamat. You have fought a good fight. You have proven yourself impressive in all aspects. I urge you to continue what we have started and cultivate yourself even more. I am happy to work with all of you, and I share with you both the bliss and sacrifices of this job that we have sworn to protect. I will always be proud of you. Of course, the person who stood by me in all that I pursue and endured everything I have been through, to my wife, Ninita, thank you. You are my partner, and I will always be grateful of every single day, of forever, to have you by my side. Let me also recognize my sons for being my life's inspirations. My family has been my fortress through life's ups and downs. I cannot thank them enough for their love and constant support. Last but not the least, I offer this huge success to our Lord Almighty, the source of all. Muli, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Isang karangalan ang maging bahagi ng Presidential Security Group. Headquarters, Presidential Security Group, Malacanang Park, Manila, 18 October 2022. Relinquishment. Pursuant to Paragraph 5, Section 1, General Orders 1673,